Jenny, you rewrite history.
Down the outside, rattling home, Vase. Damien Lane, his fourth Group 1. Vase wins from Denon the Kid.
Luxembourg on the far side, bursting back into life at the Tanner's Old Gold Cup. Went for ride more than Aidan O'Brien.
He is the perfect racehorse romantic warrior, and he's now a Hong Kong Cup winner. We are only moments away from the Turf World Championships of 2023 getting underway here at Sharton. I'm pleased to say I'm joined in the parade ring by Graham Cunningham and Jenny Chapman. And Graham, what a fantastic day it is here at Sharton. This piece of fine silverware here has not been a great piece of silverware for the locals to take home, has it?
No, it hasn't. And France, Japan and Ireland are rolling in heavy. Jenny, it's great to be back working with you and you, Tom. Thanks for having me on the show. The next 2.5 hours, we're going to learn a great deal about some very high-class racehorses.
They're going to be blockbuster, aren't they, Jenny? A shame that West Wind Blows, of course, came out yesterday afternoon with a little issue, but a fine field assembled here. A race that Hong Kong has struggled to win down through the years. Japanese runners here have got big chances, the likes of Zafiro and also in the race as well, Levin still. But what about the chances of Warm Heart as well for Aidan O'Brien?
Yeah, look, Warm Heart's got to be there. I mean, he's well in the market, and I thought that he was probably one of the chances. But I'm going to side with the Japanese horses. I like Zafiro. He's a 4-year-old colt. He looks really genuine in his races, and I think there's a bit more upside to him. Levin still, I'm very interested to see how he comes into the parade here, Graham, because he's only a young horse. He's a 3-year-old colt, so behaviour's going to be all important. We saw horse getting very excited in the last race with everyone cheering for Joe Moreira, of course. So hopefully they all keep their cool and they're all given a great chance. I want to ask you about Junko.
Yeah.
Wet track?
I think it's a concern. First of all, the form book suggests that he relishes soft ground. And I've watched him out and exercise every day this morning. And he's a gorgeous-looking horse. Big, strong, lengthy horse. I think you'll like him, Jenny. But his action in his faster paces is long and round and powerful. He hits the ground really, really hard. That's a concern for me. But then I look at 77-year-old trainer Andre Fabre, and I think about Borgia, and I think about Flincher, and I think about Wildgeist, who would have gone very close but for interference, and I think about Botanic, and at least one other who's gone close. So if Monsieur Fabre sends a horse for the Hong Kong Vase, they tend to go well.
Yeah, they certainly do. He knows what it takes to win a race, does Andre Fabre. The locals, Graham, Senor Toba always looks like he wants further. 5G patch in the race as well. And, of course, Sac Burton has Last City Blanche, who they're taking the hood off. It's a really tough task for those gallopers this afternoon, isn't it?
I think they face a really tough shift. The record reflects, Tom, that Hong Kong wins this race once in a decade. 3 Hong Kong wins in the last 30 years. And good luck to all the Hong Kong horses. It's great to have their presence. But on ratings and what we've seen of them lately, Jenny, they seem in deep, don't they?
So of the Japanese, who do you fancy?
Well, I like both. I don't want to hedge my bets here. I really like Levin still, but he's coming up a short price. Like you, I think if there's an underrated, under the radar Japanese horse here today, it could be Zafiro. Like Jenny, I think he's getting good at the right time, and his last 2 performances both give him at least clear place potential. And looking at the board at the moment, he's 7.7 as against Levin still, who's even money.
Absolutely. As we bring in Paul Lally and Nick Child, and guys, Damien Lane knows what it takes to win a Vase, but every man his dog. Every street corner here in Hong Kong this week, you found someone saying Levin still's the winner of the Vase.
Yeah, you certainly have, and he's been very popular, hasn't he? He's been on the tip of the tongue of many, and rightly so. Look, he's a progressive horse who clearly stays very well, Paul, but he's got some strong opposition, and he's got to give weight to a 2-time Group 1 winner who loves quick ground.
Yeah, I've got no doubt whatsoever that Levin's will be a Group 1 horse in Japan next year, but he's a 3-year-old and the race is run today. So, look, as Tom said, everyone's told me this horse is a superstar, it's going to win. But I'm with Jenny and Graham there. I think Zafiro is the one who's just gone about his work nicely, under the radar right throughout. And I think him and Warm Heart, I like Warm Heart as well, because she's going to get a perfect run just in behind.
Aidan O'Brien has saddled 13 runners in this race down through the years. He's won it 3 times. He's the winning most trainer in the Vase. 3-year-old fillies also have a very good record. I can think of Valiant Chante and also Daria Kana as well. So there's a lot going for her, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's a good chance. Looking at the prices, as Graham said, even money about Levenstall, 3.5 currently about Warm Heart on the Hong Kong PMU, and the other one is 7.7 for Zafiro. So that's how the market sees it. As I talk, Warm Heart now into 3.2.
We mustn't chat about the race, I think, just quickly without giving an honourable mention to Geraldina. She's bred in the purple, and she's very smart too.
Yeah, very smart. So I expect her to be running on at the end. She'll get back.
Yeah, another run up for Japan, of course. But let's go back to Tom, Jenny and Graham down in the parade ring ahead of the first of the Group 1s, the Hong Kong Vase here this afternoon.
Thank you, Nick. Let's have a look at Jenny Junko first of all, and he's of course trained by Andre Fabre. Goes around in those famous Goldie Cover colours, ran on a really testing track over in Munich last time out in Germany. What do we make of him this afternoon? How's he looking?
Yeah, look, he's a really nice horse. Graham just mentioned that, and seeing him for the first time here, he looks terrific. He's got a beautiful, healthy coat on him. He has been clipped out, but that coat that's coming through has got a great shine. Now, he has got a bit of filler in both of those front feet, so they must have had a few little issues with those hooves. That would be your only little concern. Everything else about him is terrific. He's nice and alert, he's fit, he's a good type, looks well.
Yeah, they're going to run very quick for him today, aren't they, Graham?
Yes, he has led in his races, but leading in small field French races or European races and then doing the same in Hong Kong is a slightly different thing, especially from a wide gate. But the ground is the key question for Junko.
5G patch, Jenny, Alexi Bedell, Tony Cruz.
So he's out of order here, so I will go back over to him and find him. He's behaving himself nicely here in the parade. He's very calm and relaxed. He's a nice type. He's very athletic. Behaviour is good. Fluency, no issue, and he looks as fit as he could possibly be. I can't really fault him too much, so I don't think he's quite good enough, but he is very fit and he's relaxed.
Senor Toba, he's had a few issues, Jenny, with pulling up, especially over in the UAE, issues with mucus, but Casper Found seems to think he has him right at the moment, Senor Toba.
Yeah, look, his last run was good, but the further the better for this horse. So he's going from the 2,000 to the 2,400, even further than that, I think is probably better for this horse. But his last run was good, so we'll respect that. He's nice and relaxed here in the parade on his home ground. Does look very fit, a little wintry in his coat, but healthy. Just a very casual walk on him. He's well.
His best rating, international rating, 115, brings him into place contention here. But we have to reflect on last year's race when he had his chance, and he led, actually, unusual for him, and he finished 7th, beaten a little over 5 lengths.
Joe Moreira, Jenny, rode this horse last time out, Zafiro. I think he was one of 11 winners that weekend over in Japan there at Tokyo. What about him? You're very keen on him. How's he parading?
Yeah, look, probably a little underwhelmed when I actually see him in the flesh here. He's only 1,045 pounds, and that shows. He doesn't carry much excess condition, so he's a bit of a lightly framed type. He's not overly tall. Very wintry in his coat, but he has got a bit of a shine to it. Behaviour's quite good, though. But just a little unassuming type to look at, but obviously got plenty of talent. He's quite sweet, actually. So, I'll leave him there with a
well made, but he's
chance.
not the biggest in the race. White bandages in front. It's his last performance, which looked really, really good. And we know that Joe Moreira, Tom, is a glass half full guy, but he talked about this horse's stunning ability and that there is a high possibility he will become a special horse. People believe Joe because he's even money. 2 on the board.
Last City Blanche, Jenny, Zach Purton, the hood comes off today.
Hood comes off, nicely presented from the Tony Cruz yard. He's very fluent in his walking action. He's not overly tall, but he's really fit. He doesn't carry any excess condition, but he's not light. He's just fit and healthy. So he parades as good as he can. Whether he's good enough, that's my query.
He's up against it here, isn't he, Graham? Surely Last City Blanche?
I think so. I think he is an out-and-out stayer, so that should stand him in good stead. But he's only 1 from 11 in Hong Kong. Never dangerous 6th in the Jockey Club Cup. If you're looking for pluses, there is one. Zach Purton's ridden him once, and he won that day.
On we go to the next of them, and we're going to see number 7, Geraldina, and William Buick is riding here. Ran 5th last time out, of course, Jenny, behind Bredeveg there in the Queen Elizabeth Cup. Missed the start, but did storm home quite nicely over the final stages, Geraldina.
Yeah, this is not her first go
in terms
here.
of tension, Jenny. She was very tense when she last ran.
Okay, look, I've seen her before here in Hong Kong, and she did get herself really quite towy. You can see she's doing it all again here, or gone into her winter coat, but she's fit. She's got quite a high wither on her, but she's very fit looking. Not too hot and sweaty considering, but walking out freely enough. So a place chance for her.
She's been here before, Graham. Geraldina, how do you assess her?
Well, she needs to behave herself in a calmer manner than last time, because last time she was here, she got very edgy. She didn't run badly in a tactical race, and she has run very well since, especially when she was placed behind the mighty Equinox in the 10-0 show. Sire Morris dazzled here twice. She was a little way behind Zafira when they last met. I prefer Zafira of the two.
What about Levenstill, Jenny? He looks like he's got his neck sort of tucked right up. He's looking really good, I think.
He's a lovely horse. Yeah, the young 3-year-old colt. His coat is absolutely gleaming. Now, he has been on his toes. He's got the two handlers with him and bandaged in front, but he's such an athletic type. He is a very good type. I don't think he's too hot and bothered with everything that's going on here. So he's a live chance. He looks really well.
Yeah, he's a short price, but if there's a horse in here who's really ready to take a significant step forward, it could be him. Horse he beat last time in a Group 2 was the Japanese Derby runner-up, and he beat him good-looking, and the Moreira confidence seems infectious.
And quickly, Jenny, Warm Heart, she is at 4 and 1.3. Aidan O'Brien, Ryan Moore.
Been clipped out, only a small horse, lacks a little bit of size, but does look particularly fit, handling the occasion very well, and she seems to be stepping out quite freely as well, just a little warm around the flank area, but a good-natured horse. Yes, she's probably there with a chance the way she presents.
Okay, that is Junko being judged best presented by Mr. Horacio Esposito, the Vice Chairman of the International Federation of Horse Racing Authorities. So well done to the connections there of Junko for having him turned out best presented. How much, Graham, do we read into Ryan Moore trying to get down to 117? Is that a big pointer towards the filly Warm Heart?
I think it is. Other riders have ridden Warm Heart this season, and tactically I think she is a key horse here, Tom. I think this stacks up to be a sit-sprint race, and it would not surprise me if Ryan Moore either leads or races second from the inside gate. Aidan O'Brien has won the Vase 3 times with 2 different horses. Galileo, the sire of Highland Reel. Galileo, the sire of Mogul. They both won this race age 3. Warm Heart is by Galileo, a proven Group 1 filly with very strong credentials. And tactically, I think Ryan Moore will be hoping to get the drop on Joe Moreira and roll for home first.
Okay, I think we're standing by to hear from one of the connections shortly. We'll get an update shortly as well from Paul in terms of the market. But Jenny, take us through your top 4 for the Hong Kong Vase.
Well, I don't disagree with the best turned out. He was beautiful, Junko. I'm going to have to put him on top. Lovely horse, very athletic, fit. On form, I probably wouldn't go for him, but on looks, I have to. So he's on top of number 8, and that is, what is the 8 here?
Levenstill.
Yes. Levenstill, a lovely horse, really healthy and fit, not normally working off this guide, so it's a little awkward. Next best is number 9, and I thought Warm Heart paraded well. Only a small horse, but really relaxed here in the parade and looks nice and fit. And I'm going to have to put 5G Patch in number 4 from the Tony Cruz yard. I thought he was next best in the looks department, so 1, 8, 9 and 4.
Just as runners go out onto the track here, Paul, give us a quick update on the market. It looks like it's all one-way traffic for Levenstill.
Levenstill came in from even money to 1.5 and a massive hit. He's just gone out to 1.6, but that's where all the money's going for. Warm Heart, second favourite, clearly at 3.9. Safiro's now double figures. He's a 10 chance. He's the next best. 19 Junko, 22 both Last City Blanche Geraldina, 32 Senor Toba, and 33 5G Patch. 1.4 now, Tom. Everyone's been talking this horse up, and it's now showing on the PMU.
Yeah, absolutely. The market's certainly really keen here on Levenstill markers. Runners are making their way out onto the track in front of a huge crowd here at Sharton. There's the best presented horse, according to those in the paddock here. Junko, what do you make of the field for the Vase?
With the 8-Tom Levenstill on top at 1.5 and 1.1, he's just been, as Paul said, crunched in betting. And Toshihiro Okanubo from Netkiba telling plenty of people through the week, including racing, to win that he's the best of the Japanese chances. Well, if that's good enough for Toshi with some of the arsenal they have here today, that's good enough as well. 1.5, 1.1. Joe Moreira has won 2 of the last 4 on Glory Vase. think he will combine with Japan again here to win it. Over the 9, which is Warm Heart, she'll be dangerous. The last time Japan didn't win this race was a 3-year-old called Mogul for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. Warm Heart's a 3-year-old filly for Aidan O'Brien and also Ryan Moore. 3 to run third, Zafiro. Damien Lane rode Win Maryland to victory last year. Distance no concern for Zafiro, winning over 2,500 last time. And number 7, which is Geraldina, jumps up to the 2,400 metres for the first time for her, but she has been here. She finished down the track in the QE2, coming off a 5th in the QE2 from this year in Japan. So 8, 9, 3 and 7, Paul, for race number 4 with the Japanese, Lebenstiel.
Yeah, I'm same numbers, but I've gone the other Japanese. I'm with Jenny here. Safiro at 10 and 1.8. He just offers a lot more value than Lebenstiel at 1.5. So I've gone a Japanese Quinella, but Safiro to beat Lebenstiel. Warm Heart, obviously she's going to run well, and she should trail. I think she'll just sit in behind and get a lovely run. And then Geraldina from the back, I think, will be running on late. 3, 8, 9 and 7 for me.
Nick's numbers will have those for you shortly, but in terms of the Vase, I've gone with 8, 9, 3 and 7. I think 11 still can win this, but he's certainly very, very short in the mark as we get some great drone shots here at Sha Tin. So 8 to beat 9, Warm Heart, the filly. Ryan Moore riding for Aidan O'Brien. He's got a massive, she rather has got a massive chance in this race, has Warm Heart, certainly on the form that she brings into with us. I've got the 3 in as well, and that being Zafiro. I think they're the 3 main players here. And Geraldina, she's been here before. She was just starting to get a little stirred up before she left the yard, but she goes in. So 8, 9, 3 and 7. A recap of Nick's numbers as they come up on screen in just a moment. But Jenny, your numbers from the paddock, please.
Yeah, look, I've gone with the top weight here, number 1 on looks. I thought Junko presented beautifully. He's such a lovely looking horse, this horse. And he behaved himself nicely too. So he went on top of the next best looking horse, number 8, Lebenstiel. He was slightly on his toes, just a little bit eager and keen, but he's a young horse. He's such a cracking type. He goes in. Warm Heart, number 9, was next best. Only small, but very calm and relaxed, nice and smooth in her walking action. She does look very fit. And then I thought number 5, one of the locals, 5G Patch, was next best. I don't think he's good enough, but he did. Well, he was extremely well presented from the cruise yard. Now, my best is Zafiro, and he missed out in the looks department. I'm not saying he can't win, because I think he's definitely good enough. He's small. He was a little wintry in his coat. He's just a little bit of an unassuming type to look at, but I still think he's a strong chance. But on looks, 1, 8, 9 and 4.
I'm going to go 8, 3, 9. And I'm going to go with Jenny with 5G Patch at a big price. If something can run well at an outlandish price, it could be him. But look at the support for Lebenstiel now, guys. Was 2 a minute ago, 1.5 now, 1.6. He's clearly a very, very heavy favourite. Some people might think that Warm Heart, the proven Group 1 winner, is the value there, but I look at the board and think that 3 Zafiro is potentially the real overpriced horse in the race. The race he ran in, the last 2 races he's run in, have been very strong, and I like him to run much better than that price suggests.
Are there contributing factors to his price here, Graham Lebenstiel? That, of course, Marrera is on board,
yes,
but he comes into this with a win over Sol Oriens, and he's certainly one of the best 3-year-olds going around in Japan, Sol Oriens.
And to do that on just his 6th start as a 3-year-old. And, of course, these 3-year-olds are getting weight from the older horses, so that's another significant thing. So I get the case for Lebenstiel completely, but he's now a price that makes it tempting to look elsewhere for the Quinella, etc. Fascinating to see how Junko goes for France. Looks in great shape, has a strong rating. The ground is a question, though.
What about Geraldina here, Graham? She hasn't won for just over 12 months. Do you think she could bounce back?
I think if she behaves herself, she was nervy, she missed the break on her last visit here, but since then, she's run a couple of very good races. 3rd on Christmas Day last year, behind Equinox in the Tenno show, but she was behind Zafiro at Nakayama last time. Not too far behind, but enough distance behind to make me think that the Zafiro might just be the better option again today.
Geraldina, Jenny, did she parade better this time round than what she did here last time? She got herself into a right state here last time.
Well, she was probably marginally not as sweaty and not as toey as last time. She's a 5-year-old mare now, but she was still, you could see she was still on her toes, so she's never learned to settle down, or when she's travelled anyway. Maybe she's different in Japan.
Yeah, she just plunged a couple of times as she went past us. What about tactics here? In terms of the Hong Kong horses, Senor Toba departed in this race last year in that he led but he's not normally a hold-up horse, and strong front runners here are pretty hard to identify out there.
Yeah, I think it is. It's again, I don't think barriers matter too much here, especially in this small field over the 2,400 metres. Paul, you're the speed map expert. Take us through the speed map quickly as they begin to load away, and also the play.
Yeah, 3, 8 and 9, I think we're all around Zafiro, Lebenstill and Warm Heart. Yeah, I thought Junko, he did lead with small fields over in Europe, so if he might be there by default, but I thought Warm Heart would be right in behind him.
Moving in well here for the first of our Group 1 races here at Sha Tin on this Super Sunday afternoon. It is the Longines Hong Kong Vase. This is the first of the Turf World Championships here today, and your race caller is Mark McNamara.
Thank you, Tom. Favourite goes in Lebenstill. Last 10, Japan have won 4, Ireland 3, Hong Kong, China 2, France 1, but Junko back to possibly make that 2. He's at 12 and 2 in those blue and white colours for Maxime Guillon and Andre Fabre. Geraldina goes in, first Hong Kong international runner for Takashi Saito. Lebenstill is ready. They're all set. The Turf World Championships at Sha Tin. Longines Vase, they're racing. And Junko missed the start, so he's last. He won't be leading because he got himself on the back foot at the start. And going to the leaders last, City Blanche over Warm Heart taking a trail, Lebenstill behind them. Wide as 5G Patch, and then came Zafiro. Geraldina inside that line of 4. Senor Toba second last, and after missing the start, Junko is a length away last of all. The first of 4 Group 1s for the Turf World Championship, and the leader is last City Blanche for Zach Purton. I've got a round to go, and there's no pace on. Warm Heart, she's racing second on the outside of Geraldina. Lebenstill fourth, and 3 wide 5G Patch. Down next to the rails of Firo for last year's winning rider Damian Lane. Second last Senor Toba, and Junko back at the tail end. It's a stroll up the side for last City Blanche, and he's out by a length at the 1600. Warm Heart's running second, and third Geraldina. 5G Patch has allowed some rain now. He creeps into third, remains 3 wide. Lebenstill walks along fifth to centre. Then came Junko. Next Zafiro, and Senor Toba is last. Along the back they go. And the Shingmun River's flowing faster than the Vase field at the moment. And the leader is still last City Blanche. Purton stealing sectionals, and with 1,200 to go, he leads by a length over Warm Heart. Third the inside, and having the second best run in the race is Geraldina. 3 wide 5G Patch, Lebenstill fifth the middle. Then came Zafiro, Junko 3 wide, and Senor Toba is last of all. They go quicker in a Class 4, a Class 5 even, than what this leader has had to do. It's last City Blanche for Hong Kong, China. Speed increases now as Warm Heart and Ryan Moore goes up to work the front runner, and she poked her nose in front, Warm Heart. 3 wide is 5G Patch, Lebenstill in the middle. Geraldina's had a good run. Zafiro getting one off with about 4 lengths to make up. Niggled at Senor Toba, and Junko is last. On the inside, last City Blanche, first to be felt for, as Warm Heart drew half a length on him. Lebenstill's out wider. Then came Geraldina, and wider out is Junko. Leader, though, is Warm Heart in the Vase. He's out by a length. Junko descends for France, and then came Zafiro. On the outside, though, Junko has run to the lead from Warm Heart. Between horses, Zafiro. Junko in front, though. He's 3/4 clear. Now a length. Zafiro can't get him. It's a win for France in the Vase. Junko has beaten Zafiro. Third in Warm Heart, and then came Geraldina. Next in Senor Toba, 5G Patch, La City Blanche, and Lebenstill. The favourites run last. What a go this. 5.5. Junko, Maxime Guillon and Andre Fabre have won the Longines Hong Kong Vase. He missed the start. Zafiro for Damian Lane second, Warm Heart and Ryan Moore third. 5.5 and 1.9 the winner. Zafiro at 1.7, Warm Heart at 1.4. They won't have broken any speed records there. You could have built a Vase quicker than they ran that race. 1:39 and 7. And it's a win for France, the second in the last 11 editions now. The last was in 2014 for Flintshire, who was trained by Andre Fabre and ridden by Maxime Guillon. 9 years since France have won it, and it's been the same combination, 2:30.12. They are over 3 seconds outside of standard time. And Junko, they might not be done yet, the French. Horizon d'Or to run later. We've still got Tribalist to come as well. 1 length, 2 1/4, 230.12. Zach Purton was stealing sectionals on La City Blanche, and Maxime Guillon came to the outside with Junko with the turn of foot and has sped away to win the first of the Group 1s. Nick Child is about to catch up with our first Group 1 winning rider of the afternoon, Maxime Guillon.
Yeah, thanks Mark. He's just cantered by me, so I'll have to get the running legs on and go and catch him here, but we'll get a word with the winning rider. We can just sneak up behind him here. Maxime, very well done. Congratulations, that's a second Hong Kong Vase. You must be delighted.
Yes, I'm really happy. It's really long time ago, you know what I mean. Last time with the French HKIR, André Fab, the same team, so I'm really happy to win today.
And how much were you concerned about the ground, possibly, Maxime? Because we know he likes soft ground, but he's handled that really well today.
Yeah, exactly. Normally he's a little bit better on the soft ground, but the horse is improved a lot, and the guys in the morning tell me he's very good in the morning in Hong Kong, so everything is perfect.
Great job by the team. Well trained by a legend. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
The Turf World Championships at Cha Tin. Longines Vase, they're racing. And Junko missed the start, so he's last. He won't be leading because he got himself on the back foot at the start. And going to the lead is La City Blanche over Warm Heart, taking a trail. Leben Steel behind them. Wide as 5G Patch, and then came Zafiro. Geraldina inside that line of 4. Senor Toba second last, and after missing the start, Junko is a length away last of all. The first of 4 Group 1s for the Turf World Championship, and the leader is La City Blanche for Zach Purton. They've got a round to go, and there's no pace on. Warm Heart, she's racing second on the outside of Geraldina. Leben Steel fourth, and 3 wide 5G Patch. Down next to the rails of Firo for last year's winning rider Damien Lane. Second last Senor Toba, and Junko back at the tail end. It's a stroll up the side for La City Blanche, and he's out by a length at the 1600. Warm Heart's running second, and third Geraldina. 5G Patch has allowed some rain now. He creeps into third, remains 3 wide. Leben Steel walks along fifth to centre. Then came Junko. Next Zafiro, and Senor Toba is last. Along the back they go. And the Shingmun River's flowing faster than the Vase field at the moment. And the leader is still La City Blanche. Purton stealing sectionals, and with 1200 to go, he leads by a length over Warm Heart. Third the inside, and having the second best run in the race is Geraldina. 3 wide 5G Patch, Leben Steel fifth the middle. Then came Zafiro, Junko 3 wide, and Senor Toba is last of all. They go quicker in a Class 4, a Class 5 even, than what this leader has had to do. It's La City Blanche for Hong Kong, China. Speed increases now as Warm Heart and Ryan Moore goes up to work the front runner, and she poked her nose in front, Warm Heart. 3 wide is 5G Patch, Leben Steel in the middle. Geraldina's had a good run. Zafiro getting one off with about 4 lengths to make up. Nigurat, Senor Toba, and Junko is last. On the inside, La City Blanche first to be felt for as Warm Heart drew half a length on him. Leben Steel's out wider. Then came Geraldina, and wider out is Junko. Leader though is Warm Heart in the Vase. He's out by a length. Junko descends for France, and then came Zafiro. On the outside though, Junko has run to the lead from Warm Heart. Between horses, Zafiro. Junko in front though. He's 3/4 clear. Now a length. Zafiro can't get him. It's a win for France in the Vase. Junko has beaten.
Most had him pegged as a wet tracker, and they've come in and smashed the price later here at Paul. Junko at 5.5.
He did, didn't he? And really came in late. 55, 50, 19. Good run from Zafiro there in second at 17. And Warm Heart, she just couldn't go with him there and ran third at 14. The Quinella 1 and 3, 179. The forecast 1 to beat 3, 390. The trio 139, 163. And the test 139, 1,125. And he looked fantastic in the yard, did Junko Jenny, and he really lived up to those looks and ran accordingly.
Yeah, well, Maxime just gave him a really good ride, didn't he? He's ridden him 12 times prior to today, so he knew the horse very, very well. He knew what he had underneath him. In fact, last start, when he did win in a 4-horse race, he led. Prior to that, he'd been back midfieldish. Today, no pace whatsoever. He sat last in the early part, and he just produced him at the right time, and he was so tough on the line too. Beautiful horse, no doubt about it. Congratulations to the French team there. Lovely win.
Yeah, it's a race, Graham, that they've been able to win in the past, the French, but they've fair dinkum stolen this one here, and Purton tried to pinch it off the front. They've gone so slow.
Incredibly slow. So many amazing aspects to this race. A very slow pace. First and second have both come from well off that pace. I'm not sure I've ever seen a double smash in the market like that in a Group 1. Both winner and second halving and more than halving in price in the last couple of minutes. But it's a Farb thing, Jenny. He's 77 years of age, 20 years ago thereabouts, Borgia, a decade or so ago, Flincher, since then Talismanic, Botanic, Valgeist, all gone really well. He's not lost it, Monsieur Farb, has he?
Yeah, look, I've got to say, looking at his form, you're probably expecting him to have been better had we had some rain. But he didn't need it today. He's just been too good. That pace has played into his hands here today.
And these are some very famous colours, aren't they, Graham?
They certainly are. The Wertheimer colours. The operation is gradually winding down. Goldikova, among the most famous. Intello, a high-quality horse to carry these colours. And he's the sire of Junko. So it's a stellar history, this breeding empire for the Wertheimer. And we talk about French horses who come here with a ground question. They answer it. There may be another one later on in Horizon Doré.
Yeah, indeed. Paul, we knew this race was going to be certainly on the slow side, but I don't think many would have predicted it to be that slow.
No, exactly. And La City Blanche leading as well. I mean, he's got back in every single one of his starts here in Hong Kong. And look, with the no pace on, Zach took the bull by the horns and went forward and did lead. But fortunately, he couldn't stay on. Look, all that hype around Lebenstiel, I think he did start 2.3, so he did drift late with all this money coming for Junko and Zafiro. But Lebenstiel's still a young horse. I think the occasion probably got to him.
We'd need to check the vet report there, Jenny, because that was for the market expectation and what we'd seen during the week. That was almost too bad to be even true.
Well, it appears so. I mean, he's a really nice horse, and maybe it's just too early for him. He's a 3-year-old colt. He was a little bit toey in the parade, but not over the top. So, yeah, it has been disappointing. Zafiro, a little bit squashy for him in the mid part of the straight there, and then once he got clear, the winner had already got away on him. So he fought gamely. We've seen that in a number of his runs in Japan. So he's run a really good race, the little horse.
What will the takeaway, Graham, be on the filly Warm Heart?
I think it may be, in retrospect, one race too many. She went to California. She ran really well. Today she was a little bit below best, and no excuses, because tactically she seemed to be very well positioned, but she proved one-paced when the heat was on. Be surprised if we didn't see Junko back in Hong Kong this time next year, Tom. He's only 4. He's a big, strong horse, as Jenny said, and he should get better. He was in Dubai in the spring. He's ended on a high in Hong Kong, and it's a Farb thing. I had reservations about the ground. I shouldn't have doubted this fella.
Absolutely not.
The market certainly didn't.
No, it certainly didn't. Someone's just loaded up with a whole lot of cash out of Junko here. What will a win like this mean for the French industry? And it's important that overseas horses do come here and run well for future IRs, to get them back here, to know that the Hong Kong horses aren't flat track bullies. We can come here too and run well.
So that's a really good question, and the point I should have made. This has been a landmark year for French horses. They've got used to the Brits and the Irish beating them up in their own backyard for a long, long time. But this has been a real bounce-back year for French trainers, both at home and abroad. Remember, Ace Impact in the Arc de Triomphe, but plenty of big races around the globe for France this year. And maybe, just maybe, they're not done yet today.
Of the local brigade, we had Senautoba finishing in 5th position. He's gone probably as well as he can.
I think in a race like this where Hong Kong certainly doesn't dominate at all, so he's picked up 840,000 for his troubles this afternoon. A good result considering the horses he was up against, Paul, and he's a horse that if we had a 3,200 metre race, he'd be more than competitive in that. This is the biggest he can get here in Hong Kong is 2,400.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the races he targets against the locals. He'll go pretty well, but against these international horses, he sort of just struggled. So he probably did the best he could running 5th, and so.
各位來賓，浪琴香港瓶頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Longines Hong Kong Vase Trophy Presentation Ceremony will now commence.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together to congratulate the winning horse, Junko, representing France, winning the Longines Hong Kong Vase. 浪琴香港瓶已經係名快有主啦，即係有嚟自法國嘅真強勝出㗎，恭喜晒！ May I now invite the club steward, Mr. Lester Huang, to present the Longines Hong Kong Vase Trophy and bronze horse statuette to our winning owner, with Thyma and Frere of winning horse Junko. And the winning trophy is received on behalf of our winning owner by trainer Andrea Farb. Congratulations! 我哋本會董事黃家順先生咧，啱啱就頒發咗個獎杯咧，就俾我哋嘅勝出頭馬 with Thyma and Fair 我哋嘅馬主嘅，咁啊我哋勝出嘅頭馬咧就係真強噶。Mr. Huang, please also present the bronze horse statuette to our winning trainer, Mr. Andrea Farb。呢個時候咧，黃家順先生咧就頒發駿馬銅像俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅練馬師費爆華先生。And of course, a bronze horse statuette to our winning jockey Maxime Guillaume。咁亦都有頒發俾我哋勝出嘅騎師紀仁安。恭喜晒 ，congratulations and thank you, Mr. Huang。唔該晒，黃生。Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Cecilia Kwok, Vice President Longines Hong Kong and Macau, to present the Longines watches to our winning owner, trainer and jockey. 而家我哋有請浪琴香港澳門區副總裁郭正心小姐致送我哋浪琴錶俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅馬主、練馬師同埋騎師㗎。Thank you. And our trainer? Congratulations, and of course our winning jockey。最後咧，亦都係邀請我哋嘅勝出騎師去接受呢一隻名貴嘅腕錶嘅。Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Maxime Guillaume to present a bouquet of flowers to Miss Kwok。跟住落嚟咧，我哋邀請我哋勝出嘅騎師致送花束俾郭小姐。Thank you so much. I'd like to invite all our guests to remain on stage for a group photo。有請各位留一留步，我哋影張大合照㗎。Okay, let's look forward to all our media friends at the front for a group photo. Huge congratulations once again to all our winning parties. Please remain where you are. Now please rise and take off your hats for the national anthem of the winning country, France. 跟住落嚟，我哋即將播放勝出頭馬所代表國家法國嘅國歌。我哋有請各位起立並隨舞。Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the presentation. See you at the Longines Hong Kong Sprint Trophy presentation after race 5. 我哋浪琴香港瓶嘅頒獎儀式嚟到呢度已經圓滿結束啦。我哋陣間第5場賽事之後，浪琴香港短途錦標頒獎禮再見。
Let's have a look back at the patrol vision here, and you'll see him last out of the gates here. Geraldina a little tardy away again from the start, but she is known for that. And Junko back at the end of the field, and Zach Purton's just gone straight to the front here on Last City Blanche, and he's going to set up some very weak sectionals through the early stages here. You can see he's got his ears pricked. Warmheart not far away. Geraldina through over on the inside, and then came Zafiro, followed by Levin, still maybe a little bit keen in the early stages. 5G Patches next over on the outside, followed by Senor Toba and Junko back at the end of the field. But the early sections here, Graham, 26-7, 25-64, 26-1.
And then 24-8-6. So it was a very slowly run race by Group 1 standards, the sort of splits you would get in a novice hurdle at Wincanton back in England or something. But it was very clear from an early stage that Maxime Guillaume was more than happy to tear up the Munich playbook. He made all on very deep ground in a small field Group 1 at Munich last time. But I think the combination of being drawn 8 in Hong Kong here and just up against faster athletes in the early stages, they were more than content to let him find his rhythm off the pace.
Into the back they go here, and still it is Last City Blanche. You can see Warmheart there on the outside. Geraldine with that nice run in the trail. Facing the breeze is 5G, your Patch, and then you've got Leben still between runners. Zafiro back on the inside. Back there is Senor Toba, and he's just biding his time. He's on the 3 wide line now, where Graham is the winner.
Absolutely. Point you make about Leben still, Tom, I think is a good one. He's not been, really pulling hard, but he has been racing quite keenly and aggressively. You can see that Joe's just trying to get him to check back there. We haven't really tipped our hat to the other Japanese horse, Zafiro, we should mention, who was also held up, ridden for a turn of foot. That is a horse who could be back in Hong Kong, no problem at all. He's reached a pretty good high level of form now. As Jenny said before in the analysis, he was slightly chopped for room, but no real excuses. He has come to Hong Kong and shown his A game, but he's come up against a big, strong, good-looking French horse who's trained by the maestro.
And you can see Paul as they turn by home. He's just trying to pinch runs here as Damien Lane between runners gets a little bit tight. Warmheart's at the front here, but here comes Junko down the outside.
Yeah, he came down and he sort of ran it a little bit, but there was still that gap there for Zafiro on the inside. Warmheart, she fought on nicely there for third. Geraldina wasn't far away for fourth either.
You'd have to say, Graham, that Levin still just has not quickened at all, has he?
It's a very, very plain performance for him. And even though you're right to point out that he was a little keen, that's not even a partial excuse, is it?
I think there must be something underlining there. 26-7, 25-64, 26-1, and then 24-86, 23-2-3, and home in 23.59. They've run 2:30.12 when they've been running this race, Graham, in about 2:27.
Yeah, and it's around 30 lengths slower than Viva Pataka's course record. But the best horse won. Junko wins the Vase. Like Lord Kanaloa, or if they have a Dan on Smash who just gets good at the right time. They might have a Dan on Smash. I don't think they have any Lord Kanaloas. And as for Highfield Princess, my heart says, yes, please. My head says, perhaps not.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough from the draw. There's the triple trio investment there on screen as well. 6 up, about to kick off here. Paul, if Lucky Sweynesse is at his A+ game, he can absolutely win. But is his A- game still good enough to win here?
It could be. He's 1.5, and you know you're not taking a price to find out, about him, Lucky Sweynesse. I mean, he just won last time. He's been looked a little bit below par this season, so this will be his biggest test.
Let's start, Jenny, with Lucky Sweynesse. Unlucky in this race last year, of course. Got taken back through the field by Lims Kosciuszko when he was tiring. How does the Sprint King look today?
Well, I've always given him a good rap, this horse, and he looks delightful again here today. He's probably done about 10 laps already, and he has not been fazed by the noise, the crowd, or anything. He's such a beautifully relaxed type of horse. He looks nice and fit. He's held his condition really nicely. He's dropped 12 pounds. I don't think that's a bad thing. He looks really healthy and well. He's got to run well.
Tremendous horse. I look back on his record after he got caught in heavy traffic last year. The 6 wins after that, Tom, they were either emphatic or commanding. Choose your own adjective. He was absolutely dominant. He is the highest rated turf sprinter on the planet right now.
Wellington run this race last year. Regina's here with a new stable and a few gear changes to boot as well.
Yeah, so the tongue tie going back on. He has actually worn it once before and they took it straight off him. So I'm not sure whether or not it's going to be ideal or not. But the blinkers also being applied now. He's bandaged on those hind legs. He's a beautifully relaxed horse. He's very strong all over. He does appear to be walking out nice and freely, and he's always been a good type, so he parades well.
What an opportunity for Jamie Richards and Alexi Bedell with Wellington today. But Jenny, Tom, the record reflects that after winning this race last year, he's been 0 from 5 against Lucky Sweynesse. That said, he did show bags of promise on his debut for the New Yard in the Jockey Club Sprint.
Mad cool, Jenny. He's got a lot of talent, this guy. They gave him a good workout during the week, and Christian Demuro takes the ride here for Manabu Ikagozi.
He does appear to be quite a progressive 4-year-old, this horse. He's bandaged in front. He's nicely, neatly put together. Coat has gone into his winter coat, but he's still got a healthy enough shine to it. And his attitude's very good. Fluency's good. He does look fit enough. He's got to be left there with consideration as well.
He doesn't have the Lord Canaloa profile, very few do. He has a similar profile to previous sprint winner Dan on Smash, in that he finished a close second in the Sprinter Stakes, and he came home strongly that day. That rating he achieved, 115, brings him firmly into place contention.
Sight Success led this race last year, Jenny. Went down bravely to Wellington, of course, won the Premier Bowl 2 starts ago.
Well, he's had a fitness trial in between his last run and today, and he's one of those horses, he can sort of stalk and just wait for an opportunity, and he can every now and again get the money on these big occasions. Now, he's a beautiful horse, he always has been. He's lovely and relaxed, he's walking out freely once again, and he does look fit and healthy, so there's nothing wrong with him.
Can't toss him because he was largely unconsidered in this race last year. Finished a very good second at 14-1. His last run wasn't his best, but we know that in the big races, he can often pop up and add some value at a big price.
Victor, the winner, Jenny, of course, beat Lucky Sweynesse 3 starts ago, home in 21-4, dictated off the front. He might get some pressure in this race, maybe up front.
He's a very honest 5-year-old, this horse, and he looks terrific as well. He's got a beautiful shine to his coat. He's so well behaved here in the parade. He's such a nicely, neatly put together type, and he does walk out cleanly. I think he's got to be left there with a chance. We've got James McDonald on from gate number 4. He's likely to get himself a nice enough run here. He looks good.
He's come a long way since being beaten off a mark of 71 on this day last year. He's fairly one-dimensional, aggressive, quick. He adds a lot of tactical intrigue to this race.
Aesop's Fables here, Jenny. Most of his form is over 5 furlongs. He always sort of runs on like he would be a 6-furlong horse.
Yeah, look, he's an interesting one to look at because he's a very stocky type of horse. He carries a fair bit of weight around the midsection there. He's a strong-chested horse and he's got decent hindquarters. He's been clipped out. Just a little bit of agitation throwing the head around a touch, but he's not too hot and bothered. So, he's solid. For me, place only.
Ryan Moore from the inside gate. I think he'll ride a waiting race. He's a good quality sprinter, and his last 2 runs have been his best. But you should note this, he's had 3 goals at Highfield Princess this season, and he's been behind her on each occasion.
Pierre Saddles, number 7, Duke Y. Karis Teton here riding, and he gets an opportunity from barrier number 10. Of course, went over to Korea, ran some slashing races in the Emirates as well. Jenny, what about him today?
He's been a good old horse, hasn't he? An 8-year-old now. Presented well. He often looks good in the parade. He holds his age extremely well. Nice and fluent in his walking action. He's fit. Look, win, lose or draw, whatever happens, he's not going to disgrace because he rarely does. Whether or not he's good enough as an 8-year-old, that's probably the query. But he's well.
He's a Trojan, as you say, Jenny. He's 8 years of age. He's got 9 wins in Hong Kong, but he was only 11th in this race last year and the 6th in the Jockey Club Sprint. Well, that's not good enough to win here today.
Jasper Crone, Jenny, he's about to head out. He's a horse that always goes forward. I don't see any change to the tactics here.
No, he's looking good. His behaviour's been terrific here in the parade. He's a very neat, sort of stocky type of horse. He's got a good amount of body strength, and he does parade nicely. Bandaged on all 4 legs, but yeah, he's going to give a pretty good side, I would suggest, and he's got great gate speed.
Yeah, connections say that going forward is definitely his best way of racing, so I think he's going to pester Victor for a good way here. But it would be an unusual story for a horse who ran as badly as he did in the Breeders' Cup to come out so quickly and win a Hong Kong Sprint. Maybe going right-handed will suit. It needs to.
He hung like a very bad tailored cheap suit round the turn last time out over in California. Lucky with you, Jenny. Is he up to this? Lucky with you?
Well, he's not out of place in the looks department. That is one thing for certain. Whether or not he's good enough, that's got to be the big query at this stage of his career. 6-year-old, he's beautifully relaxed here in the parade. He looks fantastic. He's just a lovely, lovely type. I've got to give him some sort of hope on looks. There's nothing wrong with him, and he's just too nice a type.
Yeah, he's got loads on his plate here. He's been 1st and 4th this year, but they were in Class 2 handicaps, and he's got a great deal on his plate today.
And Highfield to Princess here, Jenny, for John Quinn, the 6-year-old mare. Jason Hart taking the ride, an Abbe winner last time out, but it's going to be very difficult from the draw, one would think.
Gate 9, yep, it's going to be tough. She's conducted herself really well. She's very quiet and relaxed. She probably hasn't got as much pizzazz as a few of the others in the race as far as type goes, but she's quiet enough. She's got her own sort of walking action there, a little bit of a knee action, but she's fit enough and she looks okay. I've got a few others in front of her.
Mr. Masayuki Goto, the Vice Chairman of the International Federation of Horse Racing Authorities, presenting the Best Presented Award to the connections of number 10, Highfield Princess. Before we get a market update and the top 4, let's head over to Nick Child, who's standing by with a special guest.
Thank you very much, Tom. Most definitely a special guest. Plenty of people here, of course, for this meeting and this week in general. And please say it's my pleasure to talk to this man stood to my left, Bruce McAvaney. Great to see you here, Bruce. And you're a man who loves all sorts of sports, but this is a special day.
It sure is. I mean, it's a great day in its own right, but to have these 3 big horses, we're about to see Lucky Sweynesse and then Dramatic Warrior at the end of the day and Golden 60 in the middle. So it is a remarkable day. I love this meeting. We all love it all around the world.
And, I mean, how have you been able to enjoy it? Of course, there's so much going on. I guess you've tried to immerse yourself in almost everything.
The hospitality is extraordinary, Nick, and you run into so many people. There are a lot of Australians in this place today in Sha Tin, as you know, and in Hong Kong. So all of that. So you're networking, but at the same time, you're looking at the thoroughbred and enjoying the contest. So what did we have? We had France beat Japan and Ireland a minute ago, and what's going to happen in the next? So, no, it's just a remarkable day.
You talk of the thoroughbreds, of course. They are the stars of this show. Who are you looking forward to most? I mean, there are so many of them. There's probably too many to mention.
There are. I mean, Romantic Warrior's near and dear because of what he did at the Cox Plate and with J-Mag, but it's Golden 60. I mean, I think Silent Witness is obviously the biggest horse, the most important horse that's ever been in Hong Kong because of the moment. But this, to me, is the Colossus of Hong Kong. If he were to win today, I'll never forget it for the rest of my life.
And you're a man who's seen a lot of very special sporting moments as well.
I've been fortunate. I've been lucky, but this would be right up there, Nick.
Bruce, we're extremely fortunate to have you here in our presence this afternoon. Thanks for chatting to us and enjoy the rest of your day.
It's a pleasure, mate.
Great to have Bruce McAvaney with us here at Sha Tin this afternoon. This is going to be some sort of race coming up here, Jenny. Can Lucky Sweynesse do what he didn't do last year with even luck this afternoon?
Yeah, look, let's hope he gets all the luck in the world, Lucky Sweynesse, and let's hope he's back to his absolute best as well, because he looked outstanding in the parade. He looked fantastic. He'd done about 10 or 12 laps and hadn't batted an eyelid. He's just beautifully behaved, a really nice type. He goes on top for me from number 5. That's Victor, the winner. Thought he presented nicely. too. He's wearing a tongue tie here today. Looks in good order and he's pretty consistent. Wellington, number 2, third selection. Nothing wrong with him. He's a strong-bodied horse. He's the winner of this last year. A few gear changes for him. We'll see if that works wonders for him. And I have to put in number 9, Lucky With You. I don't think he's good enough, but I have to do my job, and he looks fantastic, so he makes it in. 1, 5, 2 and 9.
Let's go to Paul quickly for a market update before we get to Mark.
Yeah, sure. 1.4 about Lucky Swayness. He's very short. Wellington 7.4, 15 Mad Cool, 28 Side Success, 7.9 Victor the Winner, 26 Aesop's Fables, 36 Duke Y, 48 Jasper Crone, 46 Lucky With You, and 19 Highfield Princess. And we'll go upstairs to Mark. And Mark, who do you like here in the sprint?
Yeah, with the one here, Paul, Lucky Swayness. Of course, it's been touched on the lack of luck that he had in last year's race. He hasn't been the Lucky Swayness of last season at his first 3 runs back. He managed to get the job done last time, and it could be the turning point. He comes into 126 pounds on his back today, down from 128, and those defeats with 135. Having said that, there's international horses here. There's Wellington, a run fitter, so he's on top to beat that horse there. Mad Cool for Japan. Second in the Sprinter Stakes last time behind Mamakocha. Beaten a nose. Went off at 13 to 1. 4-time winner over the distance of 1,200 metres. And Christian Jamiro in town to ride Mad Cool for Manako Ikazoe. In for second is the 2 Wellington. Most intriguing runner. Good draw. Barrier 3. Proven Group 1 performer. Last year's winner, Alexi Bedell's on board again. He's won 8 times on the horse. The blinkers go on for the first time. Will that sharpen Wellington right up? There wasn't much wrong with his first up performance either. He comes in a fitter horse. And Victor the Winner, all about settling with him. Pulled too hard in the Premier Bowl and faded. Settled better when second behind Lucky Swayness and really pushed him last time. He does meet Lucky Swayness worse off at the weights this afternoon, but he's very much on the improve, only having had the 11 starts so far. 1, 3, 2 and 5, Paul, for the sprint.
Yeah, similar, but I'm going to go with Mad Cool at the prices. 15 and 2.9. I think he's a very good bet at that. He looks really overs there at 14 to 1. The second was good at last start, Sprinter Stakes. We've talked about that. He brings the same sort of profile as Dan and Smash. So he's on top. The 3, obviously, will be cheering Lucky Swayness. He's in there at second, 1.4. Wellington, last year's winner, for third at 7.9. So 3, 1 and 2. And in for fourth, I put the other Japanese horse, Jasper Crone. I think he's going to be there for a long period. He's going to be in the right position, out of trouble as well. And he's a massive price, Jasper Crone, 49 and 8.7. So 3, 1, 2 and 8 for me.
3, 1, 2 and 4. Mad Cool on top ahead of Lucky Swayness, number 1. He can absolutely win this, but has he been at his best in his last couple? 2 Wellington, last year's winner, and 4 Sight Success, I think, can run a race. 3, 1, 2 and 4. Nick's numbers are 2, 1, 10 and 3. 2, 1, 10 and 3. Nick siding with Wellington, Jenny.
Yeah, look, I've gone with the top weight, number 1, Lucky Swayness. I've always been a huge fan of his. I just hope he can find a little bit more here this afternoon in this particular race. He looked fantastic in the parade. He goes on top of number 5, Victor the Winner. Nothing wrong with his parade either. He's a bit smaller than Lucky Swayness, but he's beautifully put together. Great-natured horse, looks really fit. Next best, Wellington. Nothing wrong with him either. He looks great. He's very strong. He still walks out nicely as a 7-year-old. And Lucky With You looks out of it as far as form goes, but on looks he gets in because he's a really good type and he looks fit and healthy. So 1, 5, 2 and 9 for me.
Never seen a world-class Group 1 sprinter who handles his business, Jenny, more composed and in a much more languid fashion than this fella. He is an ultimate pro in that respect, isn't he?
Well, from day one, Graham, he has behaved like that every single time he's been in the parade. Nothing has upset him at all. So he has a fantastic attitude in this.
He did a lot of laps this afternoon too, didn't he, in here?
He stacked. And they brought him out so early. I thought it was a bit of a strange move because you've got so much noise and things going on. He wasn't phased at all.
And after this race last year, he went on a tear, didn't he? 6 big wins, and they were all either emphatic or commanding. He didn't leave any room for doubt. A couple of short price defeats at the end of the season, but back on point last time. And the punters are making the result of the Jockey Club sprint, the 1, 2 and 3 from that race, absolutely pivotal here.
I must say, I think personally it's been a bit of a random preparation for him. He's had that run at the back end of last season on the last day. He was in work basically through the off-season. He's had a lot of gallops. He lined up on the first day of the season. Victor the Winner stole that off the front. He couldn't run off 21.4, but then he's been beaten again at another handicap race carrying weight. So it's not been conventional, I think, Jenny.
Well, I think there's a little flaw there as well, because he can be slow out of the gates, and on the back foot in a race like this with the quality, that's got to be a slight concern.
Yeah, he's needed a little waking up early on in his races to get into contention. Let me ask you both this: are you surprised to see Victor the winner so strong in the market? Because he was getting lots and lots of weight. I think 20 pounds from Lucky Swainess when he beat him first time. He seemed to be beaten fair and square in the Jockey Club Sprint, getting 5 pounds, and today he meets the champ at levels.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I think he's a really honest and genuine racehorse, and he's another one with just such a great attitude. So he's a 5-year-old now. He should be at his peak this season.
Paul, we bring you in as we see runners coming up on Victor the winner. He, of course, didn't relax 2 starts ago, but he relaxed better last time out. Strong market support for him, which Graham said is a little bit of a surprise, but what's the play?
Going to do the play each way around Mad Cool. I think he's over as the Japanese horse at 15 and 2.9. Lucky Swainess, for me, is too short at 1.4.
Final thoughts, Graham?
Well, I must put in a good word, a romantic word, for Highfield Princess, the one British horse on deck here today, which is a conversation for another day. She's a tremendously popular professional sprinter, and she has good gate speed. But as we know, fillies don't win this race, Jenny, and Euros don't win this race. So the stats are daunting, but I wish her and her connections well. There is not a more romantic story on the grounds this week.
Let's take you up to Mark McNamara for the call of the Group 1 Longines Hong Kong Sprint, where Lucky Swainess is the dominant favourite.
Thanks, Tom. There's one out. Victor the winner will be the last one to come forward for the running of the Longines Sprint. 1.4, Lucky Swainess. 1,200 metres, the second of the Group 1s. And they're racing. Victor the winner flew the gates, and he's going to lead on his ear. Jasper Crano going forward to be second, and Lucky Swainess pushing into third. What is Highfield Princess from Lucky With You and Mad Cool? Aesop's Fable being ridden more like the tortoise than the hare early, and the last 3 are Wellington, Sight Success, and also Duke Y. Little Jasper Crone leads with 800 to go. Victor the winner's on his outside, and 3 up is Highfield Princess. Favourites getting a beautiful trip. Lucky Swainess, he's 4th. Mad Cool the grey 5th, and then came Aesop's Fables. Lucky With You and 3 wide Wellington from Sight Success, and Duke Y is last. 500 metres left to go in the sprint. Jasper Crone turns in over Victor the winner. Lucky Swainess is hard ridden. There's half a run there for him. Out wider than Highfield Princess, Mad Cool and Wellington. The run closed on Lucky Swainess, and Victor the winner is the leader. Now Lucky Swainess is out again. Wellington's wider out. Victor the winner leads. Lucky Swainess is wearing him down. He takes over. Lucky With You runs on, but Manfred Man is back top of the pops. Lucky Swainess beat home Lucky With You, who's gone the race of his life. Then Wellington, Victor the winner, Duke Y, Highfield Princess, Mad Cool, Jasper Crone, Aesop's Fables, and Sight Success. Lucky Swainess, Zach Purton, Manfred Man, 1.3 and 1. The run was just about there, then it wasn't, then he was cross heels, and then he was winning. Lucky With You's gone the race of his life for Andrea at Zany, 5 a place, and Wellington, he was wide the trip, he's run 3rd at 1.7, and Victor the winner, who gave you an almighty sight, he's had to settle for 4th, and old Duke Y has run on well for 5th. There he is, Manfred Man, back to number 1. And Lucky Swainess avenges last year's luckless result in this race, where he couldn't get out, and just briefly, it was Groundhog Day at the top of the straight, but in the end that didn't happen, and Zach's been able to get the run. He's had to improve this season. He was flat at his first 2 runs back. He was beaten at his first 2 runs back. He was better last time. He was even better today, but he was given an absolute pearler of a ride from the draw. He jumped okay. He pushed into a spot just in behind them. 3/4, 109.25. They're outside standard. Here is our man, Nick Child, with the winning rider for Hong Kong, China, Zach Purton.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. Zach Purton, very well done. What a difference 12 months can make.
It's racing, mate.
What about this horse's performance then today? Obviously, there was that little bit of traffic up the straight, but he overcome it well.
Yeah, I had to run inside Victor the winner, but when James went for him, he shifted in and hampered me a little bit, but because he accelerated so quickly, I was able to come out across his heels, and he had his chance from there. He did what he had to do.
He's just very special, isn't he?
He's a very good horse, yeah. I love him.
I imagine young Cash Burton will be pleased. It's his favourite horse, isn't it?
The one's out of winning the favourite, so this one's at the top of the list at the moment.
Always great when they're winning, Zach. Well done. That's your 11th IR win.
Thank you.
Great to hear there from Zach Purton, 11-time international race winner here at Sharton at this meeting. He has prevailed at 1.3 in the end. It's 1.92 and 5, 3/4 by 3/4, 19.25.
1.4, Lucky Swainess, 1,200 metres, the second of the Group 1s. And they're racing. Victor, the winner, flew the gates and he's going to lead on his ear. Jasper Crano going forward to be second and Lucky Swainess pushing into third. What is Highfield Princess from Lucky With You and Mad Cool. Aesop's Fable being ridden more like the tortoise than the hare early. And the last three are Wellington, Sight Success and also Duke Y. Little Jasper Crone leads with 800 to go. Victor, the winner's on his outside and 3 up is Highfield Princess. Favourites getting a beautiful trip. Lucky Swainess, he's 4th. Mad Cool the Grey 5th, and then came Aesop's Fables. Lucky With You and 3 wide Wellington from Sight Success and Duke Y is last. 500 metres left to go in the sprint. Jasper Crone turns in over Victor, the winner. Lucky Swainess is hard ridden. There's half a run there for him. Out wider than Highfield Princess, Mad Cool and Wellington. The run closed on Lucky Swainess and Victor, the winner, is the leader. Now Lucky Swainess is out again. Wellington's wider out. Victor, the winner, leads. Lucky Swainess is wearing him down. He takes over. Lucky With You runs on, but Manfred Man is back top of the pops.
Lucky Swainess showing his champion qualities to win the Hong Kong sprint. 1.92 and 5 for Paul and the short price favourites home.
Yeah, he got there, but 13.50 he paid in the end, so punters will be happy there. 10.10 a place. 50.50, great run from Lucky With You there for second, and Wellington very gallant there in third at 17.50. Quinella 1 and 9, 149.50. Forecast 1 to beat 9, 171. The trio 1, 2, 9, 181. The Test 192, 656. And Jenny's been a little bit below par in some of those races, but today he put it all together and it was a great win.
And when you say below par, second and a first. But I know what you mean. And I think if everyone had watched that race from last time, he won, but he wasn't overly convincing. Well, today he was. And Zach gave him a perfect ride, didn't he? From gate number 5, he was on the fence. He got that gap that he needed to get. It looked like it was going to be a little bit awkward there at one stage, but he got it. And then he showed his class, didn't he? What a run of the second horse. Lucky With You. He's run out of his skin.
Jenny, you said I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give him a good mention, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say really well done, because I didn't see that coming at all. The banner, the strap line above the paddock here is the Turf World Championships, and we've just seen the world's best turf sprinter. He's confirmed it today, not in dynamic fashion, but in thoroughly efficient, ruthless fashion once the gap came top.
And when Zach Purton came back after his last start performance, Jenny, there were sort of quotes along of, he got the job done, he was okay. There was a lot more positivity this week about the way Lucky Swainess was going, in Zach's words, and he's reaffirmed that today.
Yeah, look, you saw him here in the parade. He was just so calm and relaxed. He's the ultimate professional, and he's just come good at the right time. That's what they were aiming for. That's what they've got.
Jenny, he's only 5. When a horse is as incredibly relaxed and composed as he is, how much does that help a horse last through the season?
Oh, absolutely. Look, from day one, I have nearly had him on top every single time because he has paraded like he did today. He's just so professional, so relaxed, and such a good type too, Graham. So he's just been beautifully prepared today.
Highfield Princess did her best for the Brits. She showed a bit of cheek early in the straight, but couldn't go on with it. He's just too good for all of them.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough task for her from that wide draw. Paul Wellington's run another slashing race today, picked up third after winning this race last year. So I think the camp, they'll go home pretty satisfied with what he's done today.
Yeah, definitely. He was 3 wide with cover as well. So he did cover that extra ground. Look, he never threatened the winner, did he? But it was still a really good run from Wellington. So it's good to see in sort of Hong Kong running first, second and third in the race as well. So the Hong Kong sprinters, they do make this race their own, and again they've done it once again here this year.
What do we say about Manfred Mann? He's had his doubters. I've been in the camp around sort of doubting what Manfred have been doing with this horse, running it handicap races with big weights. He's a trainer that will be looking for a license extension again because he has reached that retirement age, but he's got a marvel here.
Well, Golden 60s coming up later on. I think Golden Autumn is the phrase for Manfred Mann. Just when you need a real ace to come along, to really boost the latter part of your career. Here comes Lucky Sweynesse, and they could take him anywhere they wanted, over 12 or 1,400 metres on turf, and he'd be the horse to beat.
I think they've sort of suggested as well, Jenny, 1,600 metres with this horse is not out of the realms of possibility either.
Definitely not. As a 5-year-old, I could see him getting that quite well. He seems to, he settled beautifully again here today. He used to lay in a little bit in some of his races. He didn't really do that today. I think 1,600 is not an issue at all.
What about Paul? We expected Victor, the winner, to go forward. Jasper Crone wasn't the quickest out, but he burnt forward in the early stage, was able to cross Victor, the winner, and then got that run up on the fence there.
Yeah, he did, and he sort of just dropped out late, didn't he, Jasper Crone, because he did have to work a little bit earlier. But it was a good run from Victor, the winner, and he stayed on nicely there for fourth. So it shows he's not just a one-trick pony. He doesn't have to necessarily lead on his own, because he didn't do that here this afternoon and still managed to stay on well.
What do you think, Graham, going forward as a race that they might try and target overseas for Lucky Sweynesse? They've talked about Japan. There was a lot of talk early on the season, late last season, that they wanted an invite. Well, they were maybe going to get an invite for the Everest. Where do you think they go?
Selfishly, I'd love to see him at Royal Ascot, and he was still active in June last year, but I think logically speaking, and from a financial point of view, it'll be either Japan or maybe an Everest ticket might be found. But he's a tremendous horse. He's come so far so quickly, and still only 5. He's a bit of a baby in sprint terms. What he might achieve is we can't imagine. But let me ask you this, Jenny. You've been around the best Hong Kong sprinters, the best. In your sort of list of top 3 or 4, is he making his way into that list now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Silent Witness, Lord Kenaloa in these races.
Sacred Kingdom.
Sacred Kingdom. I've seen so many over the years. I've got a bit of age on my side, so I have seen a lot. But this horse I've been in love with from day one. So I've loved watching him progress, and yes, his record speaks for itself now.
He's the horse who had most in hand on official figures today, and he showed it. And although we might crab him occasionally, the punters have never deserted him once, have they?
Of course, there are Roxy and Cash with Nicole Purton and Zach just enjoying the moment.
Yep, selfie for the Graham there. Paul, you'll give that the tick of approval later. He's got an international rating of 125, Lucky Sweynesse. What sort of figure does the handicapping team sort of post on him now?
Yeah, that'll be the question. They'll be there studying everything and working out a number for these 4 Lucky Sweynesse, and we'll see what he does go up to. But obviously, look, since that unlucky run in the this race last year, he's just gone from strength to strength, and he just takes everything that is thrown at him, isn't it? So as far as the figure's concerned, I'm not sure what they'll put him up to, but it'll be high.
I think lucky we've used days in Class 2 are numbered now after that. What a tremendous performance from him. And there didn't seem 1 ounce of a fluke about it, did there?
No, he was strong at the end, wasn't he? He was, if anything, looking for a little bit further off that, but it was a strong performance.
Yeah, he was running through the line strongly. On the other Japanese runner, Graham, Mad Cool was covering a bit of ground. Japanese runners here go home with their tail between their legs.
Yeah, absolutely. I did get the feeling beforehand that the Japanese sprinters might be quite good, but not this good. And both Mad Cool and Jasper Crone showed plenty of speed. They just, I think they had some limitations exposed on.
The Irish galloper, Jenny, Aesop's Fables, didn't quite see where he ended up in the end.
Never figured.
He was midfield on the fence there, so he looked like he was having a nice run behind Lucky Sweynesse, but didn't feature.
If you're going to bring a European sprinter here, it better be the cream of the crop. And I'm afraid to say that Aesop's Fables.
各位來賓，浪琴香港短途錦標頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Longines Hong Kong Sprint Trophy Presentation Ceremony will now commence.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to congratulate the winning horse, Lucky Sweynesse, representing Hong Kong, China, winning the Longines Hong Kong Sprint. Our champion sprinter doing some magic to bring pride and glory to Hong Kong. 浪琴香港短途錦標嘅得主已經出爐啦，係由嚟自中國香港嘅金鑽貴人勝出㗎，恭喜晒 ！Now I'd like to invite our club steward, Dr. Silas Yang, to present the Longines Hong Kong Sprint Trophy to our winning owner. Cheng Minglang, Cheng Yutong, Cheng Meimei and Cheng Yuwei。咁而家咧，我哋嘅馬會董事咧就係楊兆信博士咧，而家就係將主杯咧就係頒發俾我哋勝出頭馬金鑽貴人嘅馬主鄭明亮、鄭裕彤同鄭美美以及鄭裕偉先生㗎。咁我哋嘅駿馬銅像咧就係由鄭裕彤先生代表接受嘅。And our bronze horse statuette, of course, is received by Mr. Cheng Yutong. Thank you. Dr. Yang, please also continue to present the bronze horse statuette to our winning trainer, Manfred Mann. 我哋有請楊博士繼續將呢個駿馬銅像頒發俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅練馬師文家良先生嘅 ，and also our winning jockey Zach Burton， 以及我哋勝出嘅騎師潘頓嘅。Thank you, Dr. Yang. 唔該晒楊博士。Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Bernardo Tripoli, Vice President of Marketing Longines, to present Longines watches to our winning owner. And it's received by Mr. Cheng Yuwei. Congratulations! And also another watch to our winning trainer. 而家咧，我哋有請浪琴環球市場部副總裁 Bernardo Tripoli 先生咧，就係啱啱致送咗呢個名貴嘅腕錶啦，俾我哋勝出嘅練馬師㗎，文家良先生。And of course to our winning jockey Zach Burton。最後咧就係我哋勝出嘅騎師潘頓。Huge congratulations once again to our winning connections。再次恭喜晒我哋勝出嘅馬主、練馬師同埋騎師。Let's all remain for a photo。我哋有請咁多位留一留步影張合照嘅，我哋望望前方位置我哋嘅傳媒朋友。Let's look to the front and all our media friends。Thank you and huge congratulations. Please remain where you are. Please rise and take off your hats for the national anthem of the winning country, Hong Kong, China, played by the Hong Kong Police Band. 而家我哋有請香港警察樂隊為我哋演奏勝出頭馬所屬國家中國香港嘅國歌。有請各位起立並隨舞。Thank you very much. This is the end of the presentation. See you at the Longines Hong Kong Mile Trophy presentation after race 7. 我哋浪琴香港短途錦標嘅頒獎儀式已經圓滿結束啦。我哋一定第7場賽事之後，浪琴香港一哩錦標嘅頒獎禮再見。
On to the first day of the season, 2 other runs since, and now he's another Group 1 win next to his name, Lucky Sweynesse. We can see them go from the start. He wasn't the quickest away, Paul, but in those early stages there you can see Jasper Crone firing across the face of the field to here. Victor, the winner, throw over on the inside of him as they glide down towards the fence. And Highfield Princess, she's up on the outside of Victor, the winner now. Probably a little keen. Lucky Sweynesse just angling down to the inside of Mad Cool.
Yeah, so she managed to get one off at the end. She was still 3 wide around the turn. In front there was Highfield Princess. Mad Cool was 3 wide as well, but did have that cover. And at this stage, Zach was happy just to stay 1 off the fence. Aesop's Fable was getting a nice run along the rail. Following in, the eventual winner was the runner-up in those blue colours. That was Lucky With You. Wellington was 3 wide as well, cover, so a good run from him.
So into the straight they come. Look like, of course, we had Jockey Cam on Highfield to Princess there. But Lucky Swainess is going for that run to the inside of Victor the winner. It's not there. Jasper Crone starting to sink back through the field. He's off heels now. Is Zach Purton on Lucky Swainess. Wellington looking to box on. Lucky With You in the blue with the white star starting to really finish off strongly between runners. Jasper Crone weakening out over on the inside. Duke Y looking to pick off a few late, but Lucky Swainess takes it out. 23.76. 22.53, 22.96. The race time was 19.25. It's a 4th Group 1 win for Lucky Swainess.